Oh, it's such a great pleasure, Konstantinos, Mr. Lazarakis, to have you here today. And thank you so much. You're actually the first wine interviewee. So it's our great honor to invite you and have you here. So yes, could you please say hello to Korean wine lovers with a brief self-introduction?
Hello to all the wine lovers in Korea. I'm Konstantinos Lazarakis, the first Greek master of wine, a Greek wine lover and ambassador, and I was delighted to be in Korea just a few days ago.
Thank you. So you visited Korea in person after a long time. How was your trip to Korea this time after COVID-19?
Well, I was waiting to get back to Korea because it's a country and people that I love a lot. Also, it was my first trip that I had the family with me, and it's always a great pleasure to have my wife and our son together. It gives a whole different perspective into visiting a place. You are allowing, I mean, it's funny because when I was traveling, it was just for business and I was alone. In most cases, I was trying to squeeze the trip because I had other things happening. When you have the family, you cannot do that. You have to do it a bit more relaxed, and then you have time to do some sightseeing, to go to Lotte Tower and all that. So we did that, and it was amazing. I've seen things. I think I've been in Korea 4 or 5 times by now. And I saw things that I've never had a chance to do that before. So it was great.
Mr. Lazarakis, let's talk about the Western Greece wines. So your visit to Korea was mainly to host the masterclass. And this Greek wine event was the theme of Western Greece wines. So for people who were not able to attend, could you please introduce why we should pay attention to the Western Greece wines and how this region stands for the entire wine industry in Greece?
Okay, the masterclass and the tasting we had was about the wines of Western Greece, and in specific, the western part of Peloponnese. Peloponnese is a small, looks like an island. It's not technically an island at the southern part of Greece, and that's Peloponnese. And we were introducing people to the wines of Western Greece, meaning 2 prefectures, which is Achaia and Ilia. And this was a promotional generic activity on that front. So these wines are sort of individual. They are quite distinct from other parts of Greece because the climate is a bit different, and also the grape varieties and the styles produced can be a bit different. For me, the wines of Western Greece are something like a hidden gem for that are interested in wine, and of course Greek wine, because you know, we have been doing a lot of promotional work, and now we can claim that it's sort of famous or getting mainstream, the wines of Nemea, of course the wines of Santorini, a lot of wines coming from northern Greece. But this western part of Greece produces some amazing wines, while at the same time is not as well known as it should be. So for me, it was a great opportunity to work on that and trying to increase the awareness of wine professionals, mainly in Korea.
Thank you. And the wines were showcased in a very unique way, right? And what is the meaning and purpose of covering the wine label and, you know, proceeding in a blind tasting, you know, format?
Okay, this might seem a bit peculiar and maybe off-putting to some wine professionals, but actually this is a rule coming from the EU. I mean, this was an event that was supported at a level of 50% by the European Union, and the rule actually it's obligatory that we are using covered bottles, so professionals are not seeing the specific wine labels. They just know, of course, the area and the grape variety and the vintage and the general information of that wine. it's a bit difficult, it's a bit tricky for all of us. But then as I was thinking about it, the more I like the idea. Why? Because for us, the main reason is to put the wines of Western Greece in the map. Have people being aware that this is a wine producing region in Greece, in Europe, that produces very distinctive, very individual and great quality wines. So if this is the main aim, then we don't really need to see the labels. And then if a sommelier or an importer wants to work, then we can get the data, we can get the details, and we can find out what's in there. I have been trained to taste blind, and I know that seeing a label can make a huge difference. Even if you don't know the wine, even if you don't know the producer, just looking at the label, there has been an amazing amount of research behind that. And we know that even highly experienced people are influenced by the look of the label, the shape of the label, the weight of the label, the bottle and all that. Sometimes when I'm tasting Greek wines, because I know the producers and I know the wines, I love tasting blind, because this is something that really gets me to focus on the wine and see, like, this is the merit. Maybe I'm a master of wine and I shouldn't be saying these things, but it's extremely difficult not to be influenced by your perceived understanding, a perceived idea of all the things that come up as a wine identity. And I think it's a lovely idea to taste blind.
So is there an interesting wine or style, because you cannot actually indicate the certain wine name, but can you just introduce which wine was very interesting in style, and you want to introduce actually a specific wine from the Western Greek showcased wines?
One of the extremely interesting things of the wines of Western Greece is that they come in all sort of guises and styles and potentials and quality and then price, although I'll come to the price at a later stage. So you go to some places and they produce that style of wine. So you go, for example, to Burgundy, and Burgundy is known for the reds from Pinot Noir and the whites from Chardonnay. There are, of course, different styles of Pinot Noir, as it is like different styles of beef. Okay, the beef is a beef. So even if you have different grades, different qualities of beef, you're going to have beef. Full stop. Yeah. You're not going to have chicken. You're not going to have fish. You're not going to have a salad. It's beef. The amazing thing about the wines of Western Greece is that you can have light whites, very crisp whites, rounder, full-bodied whites. You can have excellent rosés that can be complex in style or refreshing in style. You can have light reds, you can have medium-bodied reds, you can have full, more voluptuous reds, and of course you have the sweet wines that can be the white muscats, aged in oak, not aged in oak, the red sweet wines of Mavrodaphne. So you can have an entire meal with 10 different wines getting matched to, let's say, a long degustation menu. And you can have 10 wines that are completely different between each other, and still you can stay in Western Greece. You can only get all these styles out of different expressions of the Western Greece vineyard. And I really believe that there are not a lot of places that can do that or do that so convincingly as Western Greece. And I also mentioned price. A great thing about the wines of Western Greece, which to some extent is a great thing about Greek wine in general, with possibly the sole exception of Santorini, that is becoming very famous and very prestigious. So the wines of Santorini are increasing in price, already increased in price, is the fact that, you know, it's very difficult to talk about prices in Korea because I don't know the structure, I don't know the profits, the margins, and the taxation or duties. But what I can say is that the wines that you had during that masterclass and during the tasting, I mean, there are very few wines that would retail in Greece that would retail above maybe 20 or even 25 euros. When I was talking about Burgundy, and of course, Burgundy is a highly prestigious place, but in a lot of other places in Italy or France, this is the starting point. You have to think about giving 25 euros for a wine just to try to have a good wine. In Western Greece, you can have wines that could be, I mean, we had an amazing Roditis, extremely crisp. I buy that by the case and I leave that in my cellar for 5 to 8 years, serve it blind to people, professionals, and they think they're having a bloody good Riesling, a dry Riesling. And this is a wine that on a Greek retail shop, it will be less than 10 euros, I think maybe like 7. So it's not just the quality, it's not that the complexity of the wine, the true quality and the complexity of the styles as well. It's that the quality to price ratio is simply insane.
Yes, it's amazing that I already knew that, you know, Western Greek wines has so many attractive points. We can expect diversities and the qualities, and including the price ratio, you know, with so many things that we can have from Greek wines. It's great. To change a little bit of the topic from the Western Greek wines, can I ask you your life as a master of wine, which I suppose many people are curious about here.